Elliott, who's playing a Naya ramp deck, but it is a Primeval Titan deck, but it's got some weird cards in it. He's got Elishnorn, Sigarda, Host of Parents, Acidic Slime, Thrun the Last Troll, Zealous Conscripts, Huntmaster of the Fells, Wormcoil Engine, Bonfire of the Damned, Entreat the Angels. That's pretty cool.
A friend of mine actually, so they tested to play a very similar deck. It was a little more white-based than this one. I think they ran Gideon's, and they didn't run the Green Sun Zenith engine, with the theory being that Elishnorn combined with Cavern of Souls is just much better than a Green Sun Zenith, which is just now a card they can mana leak, which before they couldn't.
Seems to make sense. So things are off, and Bryan leads things off of the Plains, and Alex has a turn 1 bird, the best start his deck could hope for.
Yep.
All right, so Bryan with a Rampant Growth on turn 2, and check out those sleeves, those Don't Daze Me Bro sleeves. Those are some nice sleeves.
They are.
If you want to pick yourself up a set of Don't Daze Me Bro sleeves, you can head to StarCityGames.com, where they sell those sleeves.
We do sell those sleeves.
Yeah, I don't think you can find them.
Sleeves.
Yeah, I don't think you can find them anywhere else.
Probably not.
What's nice about the Series 2 sleeves is that you can play flip cards.
That is true.
Transparency problems.
Green Sun Zenith for 2. Oh, he's cutting first, and then he's going to Green Sun Zenith for 2.
So
for
a Zenith for
Strangler
2, probably getting a Strangler Geist. Is there anything else that you grab here? No.
Unless he...
Hypothetically, you grab a...
Yeah. Cleverly going for a birds, yeah. Nope.
And, this is one of the really strong things about the new Green-Red Aggro decks is with Zenith and Strangler Geist, you get these draws where you're almost guaranteed to have a Strangler Geist.
Coming up with an effective plan against Strangler Geist has been one of my big struggles in Standard with Delver, and Intangible Virtue has been my most recent answer. He's going to turn 4.
Yeah, I started playing Pillar of Flame in my red-white deck.
Pillar's really good. Alexander himself is actually siding Pillars.
Yeah, no turn 3 play from Bryan. Somewhat surprising. His deck has a good number of 4s, and
even just another ramp spell is completely fine here.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what he has for next turn. We're definitely going to see some threats, but
Garrett.
It might just be too late. Now his opponent has Strangler Geist and a Planeswalker on the table.
Yeah, it's possible that, I don't know if Bryan had a Day of Judgment, but in this spot a lot of players are tempted to sandbag it, and then they get into this position where they're just going to be up against basically the same amount of pressure as before.
So, it looks like he either drew a Sphere of the Sunset and collected to play it last turn for some reason.
He probably drew it.
And there's a few different options here. He could ramp, and then next turn have access to Elishnorn. I think that's his plan here.
I agree.
He's going to pass the turn, and I like that play.
Yeah. In this matchup, your goal really is to just stick Elishnorn. He basically is your Planeswalker, sort of.
Yeah, I mean, it's cruel ultimatum to a certain degree.
That's one of the reasons I like those early days when, even if all he does is get a birds there and, keep his opponent from sticking something threatening, his goal is just to survive to 7. If he survives till 7, he'll win almost every time.
Yeah.
As long as he's healthy.
Another 4. Bryan falling down to 12 here, but not quite dead yet. And let's see what Alex has for this turn. Alex going to play Huntmaster. So, yeah, if Bryan does have the land for next turn, an untapped land, then he just is going to cast Elishnorn and it will dominate the game.
It'll be very difficult for Alexander to come back from that. Plenty of wolves. Checking for a miracle, Bryan there.
Oh, it's the land that comes
Razor Verge Thicket. Oh no.
Yeah, and he's going to need to survive this turn somehow. And then next turn he will be able to Elishnorn.
That
will help him
will
survive.
probably do the trick. That's going to make it real tough for Alexander to have any profitable attacks.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to attack into 6-power lifelinker. Man, Wormcoil Engine doing some great things this weekend.
Yep. Very powerful card. I think it's just been kept out by the proliferation of Mana Leak combined with Vapor Snag, but one of those cards is significantly worse than it used to be.
Yeah.
Oh, we have 2 Galvanic Blasts. Is that right?
Yeah, 2 Galvanic Blasts. Is that... No, so he cancels out...
He can kill one of his blocked creatures to avoid the lifelink, but I don't think that's enough.
The best way to do this, so...
It's not enough to kill his opponent, but it will be.
Ooh, it's all or nothing, I think.
Yeah, you can't hold. Well, oh, I see what his plan was. He's hope. No, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, you have to swing. I think you just have to. He's gonna try and flip here to generate the additional 2 damage, but I don't know.
He just broke even. Brian's still at 12.
You gain the 6,
the guy.
so yeah, that's not gonna work.
Yeah. So not the best attack from Alex.
I think intuitively he just thinks he needs to flip this Huntmaster to probably have a beater big enough. He no doubt also fears the Elliott would like to have something still in play. But if Elliott lands here, like, he's realistically out of ways to win the game. So
yeah, Bryan falling to 10 from that Ravager of the Fells trigger.
Yep.
And now Elliott is going to join a party.
Yep.
And yeah.
Well, this board got considerably less cluttered. He's back, and then he's gone.
Yeah. Yep, and swing for 8. Lifelink.
I think that's strong.
Yeah, this this seems like a pretty unbeatable board for a red-green aggro deck. So, Alex now probably deciding whether or not he's going to concede. I would. I just choose to block. All right. Bryan pops up to 18 here.
Yeah, he's looking at his list.
I think he can draw like 11 cards on his turn and lose.
Well, I mean, he'd need a fast bond at a minimum to make that work. Maybe 20. The strength in this matchup is one of the reasons my friends really liked the white-green ramp deck. I wasn't a huge fan because of its Delver pairing, but it is really strong in these matchups, especially post-board, where you can have access to a variety of cards, including Timely reinforcements.
Yeah, Timely's really good against Delver, too.
Very good in an Elliott deck, incidentally.
Oh, yeah. When you're trying to get a 7, that does some work. All right, so Wolfer Avenger, a 1/1 Regenerator.
Drudge Skeleton, you're up. Not quite, since we won't be able to regenerate this turn.
Now, Bryan going to get to. I think you go to the face with the Worm Coil, and you go to the Garruk with the Elishnorn.
Sure.
That way, if he does want to save his Garruk, you make him lose a guy, and there's so few guys in his deck that matter. And then you're at 26.
This game's going nowhere fast for Alexander, that's for sure.
Yep, so Bryan attacking, and Alex is going to let
the Garruk die.
Bryan going up to 26 here. And a Primeval Titan. It's a pretty average creature compared to all the creatures on this board. He's right in the middle of the pack, really. So Alex has two Galvanic Blast in hand, 2 Shocks. And his opponent has 2 8/8s, one of which is Trample, one of which is Lifelink and Death Touch. He has a land that can just Fireball at will. And he has no opponent. Yeah, no opponent now. So Bryan Elliott, able to take down that first game. Reasonable ease.
Yep.
Alexander Beard came to this tournament from an RPG where he was fighting things with a sword.
Really?
With the haircut. Has to be right.
Oh, okay, yeah. I gotta admit, the RPGs are not my strong suit. I know that Bryan is a member of Average Joes who have been tweeting their support for him over the weekend, so
awesome.
Give them a little shout out. Brian's doing well. Yes.
Very nice. I wonder if they have a trainer, like the trainer in the Dodgeball movie.
I mean, hopefully not quite like him. He met an untimely end after some dubious shenanigans, I would say. Oh, we do also, it's round 7 of 9 in our little box, but it says round 6 of 9. Whoops, guys.
Yes, it is round.
Sorry about that.
Round 7. Now, I'm really excited to see Lou Laskin in the top 8 of this event. I hope he makes it.
He told me about the sickest play he did to someone. The guy has Soulbond Paladin, or I'm sorry, Silverblade Paladin Soulbonded, And so he plays Phantasmal Image to copy it and passes. His opponent attacks, and he flashes in Snapcaster Mage to flashback Vapor Snag, undoing the Soul Bond and creating his own Soul Bond to just eat all his opponent's entire team using his own cards.
That's the thing about the 8 clones. I mean, it's just so good. I was talking to Bryan last week when we were in Madison, one of the greatest deck builders in the world, and he was playing 4 Phyrexian Metamorphs in a green-white deck that he brewed up, and he's like, I don't understand why anybody would ever play less than 4 of this card. He's like, and if I was playing blue, I would play 4 images too in any deck. He's like, any deck, I would play 4.
It's so fun and very good.
It makes sense, like watching Lou's deck play. Like, I don't even know if like the architects and all that stuff is really that good. I think it's just that he has the 8 clones, and like 8 clones is so good right now.
Yes. And especially when you have so many good cards in blue, like, it's really just, you just need to land the Wormcoil engine, and then if you do, you have so many Wormcoil engines. Like, 1 is already hard enough. Very few decks can beat multiples. I know Lou talked about people would very frequently wrath him, and he just has the tokens left over, and then he can just Buried Rune back the Wormcoil, copy it again. Like, he just always has immunity to these cards.
Yeah, I mean, his strength against Primeval Titan is unbelievable. The fact that I watched somebody actual on the play turn 4 Primeval Titan, perfect draw, everything to follow it up with. Even had the removal spells the next turn when Lou was able to have like an image and a metamorph, was once again able to establish dominance, and it just didn't matter. Like Lou was, because he had the Primeval Titan triggers, the Buried Runes in his deck, he just had enough mana to just go crazy with them.
He's just going over the top.
The fact that he plays exactly 2 Ghost Quarters, none of the Primeval Titan decks play more than 2 Kessig Wolf runs, so he always has a Ghost Quarter for the Kessig Wolf runs.
Yep. Very handy. Ghost Quarter is a card that's getting a little more play this weekend, actually. A couple of decks, including 2 of the ones we deck teched, were featuring Ghost Quarters.
Yeah, I saw Ghost Quarters in some decks that I don't think they belong in. Mm-hmm. I think they definitely, the 2 of is a great number for a deck that plays clones.
I agree.
But besides that, I think Ghost Quarter should probably only exist in like Sun Titan decks or blue-black control decks.
It's reasonable. It's definitely, you want to know why you have it in your deck. It's not just...
Yeah, like I saw a blue-green Infect deck earlier today that had 4 Ghost Quarters, and it's like, it made its mana really bad, and it doesn't really do anything. Like, the only turns that matter are the very first few turns of the game. Anyway, we're off. Alex Beard leading things off with a Llanowar Elves.
Yep.
Bryan won that last game so decisively, and had multiple turns where he just wasn't doing anything while his opponent was playing like extremely powerful spells.
Alexander's doing something with turn 3 Sword of War and Peace, arguably the best thing he can be doing.
Yeah, and that's the thing about the red-green aggro deck. It's just the best sword deck.
Post-board, Bryan may have some naturalizes for that thing, but it's not a certainty. I've taken to frequently boarding in cards that are like good value cards against the swords. Like with Delver, I bring in Steel Sabotage in this matchup a fair bit because of Metamorph and Sword. But I'm not sure how often I would bring in Naturalize if I was this deck. It's just easier to kill all the creatures every time, I think.
Yeah, I mean, here he's going to get hit for quite a lot. I mean, it's going to be if Alex just equips the Elf right now, if it's not a Stranglegeist next turn, then he's going to be taking 9 this turn from first sword hit.
That's a lot.
Pretty brutal. When all you've done is rampant growth and your opponent's attacking you for 9 with his Llanowar Elf. That's exactly what happens.
Yep.
So,
holds his land, gets max value. Maybe he doesn't have a land, but we'll assume. Yeah, there it is. Okay.
Yeah, now 6, 7, 5. So Alex is going to go up to 25. Bryan down to 11. Let's see if Bryan can stabilize this board.
Well, we have sort of a blocker if we really need one, and this is a much better really blocker. Yes. Is it going to live? It looks like it's going to live. I can't see anything.
A Hell Rider will come down. And,
we did have a Stranglegeist in our hand.
Oh, interesting that he chose to do it the way he did do it.
He would have gained 2 less life, but gotten in 1 additional point of damage and committed an additional creature to the board.
I feel like this is better.
Yeah, I think so too, especially because he also has a Hell Rider in his hand.
Yeah,
which
so
makes
the next
a creature worth significantly more. Oh, was it? Oh, okay. That's another Hell Rider.
I think it's Hell Rider number 2. Hell Rider is very good
at
multiples. And
coming at you.
I imagine we're going to have to jump in the way of this Llanowar Elves now.
Yeah. So we're going to fall to 6.
Yeah, and oh, no, just 9. Oh,
now to 6. Yeah, 9 for the Hellrider triggers.
Yeah. Now, does Bryan have the Day of Judgment against? He does.
He does. That's big game.
Yeah, that's
Strangler Guy's Sword of War Piece,
rough.
though, is going to come at him. Is that going to be lethal? Yeah, he has more than 2 cards in his hand, so...
Yep, looks like
seems
the game
like that's
is done.
the game. Yep.
So, Alex, Stringer Geist, good enough.
I'm gaining more respect for those naturalizes.
Yeah. Turn 2 sword.
That's
really good.
That's one of the strengths of the green-red deck. Similar to how Delver can just flip a Delver on turn 2, green-red can just sword on turn 2, and you get a lot of free wins from decks that way.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's really green-red's biggest strength. I said that a lot when we were in Providence and we were watching the green-red deck do so well. I was saying, you know, Sword of War and Peace and Sword of Feast and Famine are still in the top 5 most powerful cards in the format.
Oh, right.
And green-red aggro is the best sword deck right now. The fact that you're playing 2 of the best cards in the format, and you're playing them earlier than everybody else, and you can play more of them than everybody else, and your guys are better with them than everybody else is.
Sure.
Like, you know, arguably Delver has better guys to equip the swords, but the thing is, when you guys are guys like Strangler Geist or Huntmaster, where you're making multiple things, it's really, really tough to deal with that because every single little monster on the board becomes a massive threat once a sword gets attached to it.
It creates so much payoff for running those mana dorks that get you ahead early and then languish late, but with swords around, they don't languish. They start swinging.
They beat hard. Sometimes as early as turn 3.
The Delver deck that I know is currently, I believe, X1, there's a Delver deck, and it's running swords. It has Feast of Famine and War and Peace, and he also has Divine Deflection in the main deck as a little spicy meatball. So it's a
very spicy meatball.
It's a much more aggressive Delver deck. Like, I don't know how many mana leaks he's running. I know he is running some, but it seems to have definitely, like, it's keeping green-red in mind. It wants to race. That's its plan.
And I don't think that's a bad plan.
No, it works. I mean, getting aggressive is sometimes the only way to win those matches, especially when your defenses don't work very well. So, looking at their sideboards, Alexander could theoretically have brought in like the Ancient Grudge for the Spheres and Solemns. I don't know. I don't mind that. He has 1, and it seems like that's pretty reasonable. But I just noticed he's boarding a Forest. He brings in Garrett Primal Hunter and Wolfir Silverheart, I imagine, as a way to go big.
Yeah, I like that.
Decks. And he's got the Forest to make it a little more tenable. I like that.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
It's 22 lands, looks like.
Yeah, 22 lands.
So
you
he goes
can go up to 23.
Yep. Okay.
That makes sense. Like, you don't really want to be bringing in Cell's Conscripts in your 22 land deck.
It's been an interesting sideboard. I really like those heroes. Seems like a good call for this environment.
Yeah, Hero of Oxid Ridge, I think in a lot of ways is better than Hellrider right now.
It's reasonable. I have a very soft spot in my heart for Hero.
And he's uncounterable in the red-white human deck.
Oh, he is. That's adorable.
Is that adorable?
It's pretty adorable.
Man, uncounterable Hero of Oxid Ridge, like, you don't even need the Lightning Mauler.
Yeah, he's just got it. Flaunts it.
Yeah. He's holding that glowy thing. What is that, anyway? I'm like, come on, Hero of Oxid Ridge.
Seems dangerous. I wouldn't
Hero
want
of
to block
Oxid Ridge and Hero of Bladehold are both riding on the same type of animal. Do we know what that animal is called?
It's like the Mirren version of a horse. I don't know what it's called. Is it actually a Chrome Steed? Because it does look a lot like a Chrome Steed, but I don't know if that's like a special kind of Chrome Steed or...
Yeah, maybe it's a Chrome Steed. I've always wondered what they're riding on. It's like some type of Tauntaun.
Yeah, sure. Metal Tauntaun.
Metal Tauntaun. You know, that's a Tauntaun
Titanium
without
Tauntaun.
the same... Titanium Tauntaun.
Gotta get the alliteration. That's...
Very nice. It's a Tauntaun without the normal usefulness. You can't get inside of it in the cold. Anyway, Bryan leading things off with an Inkmoth Nexus. Alex has a turn 1 Birds of Paradise. Does Bryan have the turn 2 Ramp spell?
Should hope so. Oh, pass his turn. Turn 3. Sword of War and Peace.
Yeah, just a turn
Wash,
2 sword
rinse,
again.
repeat. Oh, we've got the Naturalize.
Yeah, this time Bryan is a little more prepared for this turn of events.
Alexander's got those Wolfir Silverhearts that give the red versions of Wolfrun so much trouble. They're significantly less powerful against the Naya Wolfrun ramp, although Bryan is lacking white mana, so that one might be good enough to go the distance if he doesn't get there soon.
Yeah, Huntmaster of the Fells coming down.
Yep.
And, I mean, it's looking like Bryan's mana is a bit troubling this game, so...
He kept an awkward hand without a ramper. These are the kind of hands I feel comfortable keeping when I have Sphere of the Suns and can carefully manage my mana, but...
Yeah,
they're very dangerous.
It's rough to keep so many colored sources. Ooh, that's not good at all for him.
Yeah, that's not what we want to be doing. Yep.
Yeah, so it looks like Alex is going to be able to run away with this one a little bit.
Zap you?
Yep, puts Bryan down to 18 here. Then he's going to get to attack for 6, putting Bryan down to 12. If he has a land, he has
Wolf or Silverheart.
Well, if he has a land, I think he has Sword of War and Peace.
He doesn't have a land, so he doesn't have either. I guess he just has Sword of War and Peace. But
which
not
is fine.
Not the blowout. Yeah. Looks like he has a Wolfie Revenger in his hand as well. He's going to cast it.
And,
Oh, that was a... It looks like he has... Is that a bonfire?
I think he drew a bonfire,
but he didn't have the red.
red.
He kind of gave it away a little there.
Oh, if he had a red, it would have been so good, too.
Yeah.
I've seen that happen with Bonfire of the Dam more than once, where somebody's like had it for the miracle and like drawn it and like paused and like,
it's a difficult skill to not give away your miracles or not give away your playing miracles or et cetera ad nauseum. This is one of those moments where you're just like, not like this, Pa, not like this. Equipping up our bird and sending. Oh, block the bird.
And another 6. Bryan Elliott falling to 6 here.
And as far as I know, drawing dead.
Yeah, drawing very close to dead. And that's it.
Yeah.
Yep, Alexander Beard able to take this match.
And that's the strength of green-red aggro. Your opponent stumbled, you can take it.
You win the game. Pretty decisively, I might add.
Yeah.